Right Honorable Prime Minister, before I leave this subject, as I said, the research will be widely circulated, and we hope that the policymakers will use it to inform policy reforms, and during the process of policy reforms, extensive consultation should be undertaken, and you people, I'm sure, will be used in the extensive policy reforms. This is not the only research we have done, Right Honourable Prime Minister. We have done research before, and I want to recognize the presence of Mr. Aina Fogg, representing GIZ. GIZ funded a study that established that Uganda could be losing up to 9-point-something trillion shillings per year to corruption. We're very grateful for that. We also established the cost of corruption in the health sector and in the education sector. So this one is tied only to recruitment of public servants in districts by district service commissions. So we are not witch hunting district. There was a lot of cry out, Madam Prime Minister, district chairpersons of district service commissions were saying, why only pointing at district service commissioners? Corruption is going on all over the country. Yes, we shall get there, but it's better to focus on a sector and discuss with that sector and find strategies to deal with the issues in that sector. But on the whole, corruption is rampant in the whole country, in all sectors of our economy. Worst of it now, Right Honourable Prime Minister, is the syndicated corruption. Syndicated corruption where all players get together and collude. In syndicated corruption, Madam Prime Minister, syndicated corruption could begin with the budget framers and go to the appropriators of the budget and bring in the executors and down to the service providers. They are all working together. And when it comes to investigators, you find the investigators are also accused, and even the courts. So it is terrible. It is a whole, a monster that brings in almost everybody. So in a situation like that, you find that it is very difficult to get evidence because all these people are covering up for each other. They are covering up for each other. The evidence manifests itself in the poor service delivery, in the bad road, that is evidence, and also in the assets acquired by the players. That's where you find the evidence. But in the process, you might find it difficult to get evidence that is acceptable in court. So, as I wind up here, the Inspectorate of Government new strategy is to follow the money to the illicitly acquired assets, because we know that when the money is gotten illicitly, it is not thrown in the lake, it is not flushed down the toilet. Normally, it manifests itself in assets, acquisition of assets. So in the new strategy, we are going to be following the money to the assets. Finally, we need a national mindset change of the entire population, because, Right Honourable Prime Minister, the Ugandan public is largely complacent. The Ugandan public accept corruption, they condone corruption, they even glorify corruption. You might find 14 people in a taxi, a 14-seater. In that taxi, there's a policeman, there is a priest, there is a magistrate, there is an investigator from Shaku or from IG. They're all seated in that taxi. And the policeman on the road stops the taxi. And the taxi stops. And the driver goes out with the clenched fists when everybody is watching. and runs and gives, and if he delays, they all say, don't you know what he wants? Hurry up. And he goes with his clenched fists and sorts the policeman when all those government officials are there watching, and he drives the vehicle at DMC or overspeeding or overloaded. Is that everybody condoning corruption? So we need a total mindset of the population. Or if you take a politician, you investigate, you have evidence, you investigate, you take them to court, the whole village comes out to demonstrate. Leave our girl, our man alone. Leave our man alone. So people's mindset need to realize that corruption hurts them, not government. Because people think Abye centers are government. We need to turn it around. Abye centers are. Madam Prime Minister, I thank you very much for attending this initial research report. I thank the researchers. I thank all of you that have taken up the time to come here. Those that have given your views and contributions, we take them in good faith, and we shall certainly use them to support quality formulation. It is now my duty and my pleasure. In addition to that, the IG always receives petitions claiming people. We always receive, and somebody even referred to a research that was an investigation that was conducted by Dr. Patricia. But we have always received petition after petition of people who think that the recruitment processes were not free and fair and were largely money-driven. And this couple of years, the Inspectorate of Government, we have caused the dismissal of 459 public servants who got jobs using a flawed recruitment process, including fake documents. Of those, 276 were interdicted and referred to the disciplinary action of district service commissions. In this, we work with especially the permanent secretary of local government and COWS. We have caused the interdiction, the dismissal of people that have acquired jobs through flawed processes, including bribery and use of fake and forged documents. We have also rescinded the appointment, caused District Service Commission to rescind the appointment of 111 public servants. So there is enough documentary evidence that this monster is a big monster, and we really need to deal with it summarily. In the interest of time, I will not, the purpose of this meeting was really to launch this report. Once this report is launched, people will go with the report, study it, and then the policy makers will use it as a platform for policy reforms. And you know that policy reforms are not a one event. They will definitely do a lot of consultations. They will come to you all, and all the issues that have been raised here, the misgivings, the concerns, will all be captured during the consultative process of the policy formulation. So, in short, I want to say that this research, this scientific research that we are asking you to launch, Right Honorable Prime Minister, has answered the question. The prevalence of corruption in recruitment of public officers. And yes, there is scientific evidence through our own investigations. The head of anti-corruption unit, Right Honorable Prime Minister, also gave evidence that every day Shako receives complaints, almost every day or working day, complaints of this. So we have answers to the questions of this research. Yes, it's very high. The prevalence is over 35% of jobs that are held in public service. And what is the impact? That was the next one, because we want to know the prevalence, the impact, and the cost. What is the impact? And the impact is that not the best people get jobs. And the impact is the poor service delivery manifested in collapsing buildings, in fire outbreaks, in poor roads, in all those, in the attitudes. Because people who are not even qualified for jobs, people who buy jobs exorbitantly, like we have seen, if they pay. It is true, research says some people, like somebody said, I think it's Dr. Researcher, people go to the bank to borrow money, Madam Prime Minister. They'll get loans to pay to get a job. 50 million, 40 million. It is true, there's somebody who said it cannot happen. But it happens. And somebody shows you they actually went to the bank, they went to the SACCO, they went to the what, and borrowed 30 million shillings, 40 million shillings to pay for a job. And the reason they pay for a job, because they know if I'm the district engineer only on one contract, I can get it all back. On one contract, I can get it back. So it overflows into every other activities of government. And then, of course, we said the cost of corruption, the cost of the real figures, our researchers have displayed them to us. So, dear friends, we're not here to point fingers at anybody, to incriminate anybody. We are here to face a problem. We, the players in the relevant sector. And when we face the problem, then we can sit down and work on the strategies to deal with the problem. It is a problem that we need to deal with. We may hide our heads in the sand and hide behind technicalities, but research does not lie. The honor, permit me to roll on the protocol that was already established by previous speakers. On behalf of the Inspectorate of Government, I wish to welcome you to this event. Right Honorable Prime Minister, especially grateful. I know how your program was, but you're here. You made it. We're very grateful. And I want to appreciate all of you that honored our invitation to this event when we launch a scientific study on the actual prevalence, impact, and cost of corruption in recruitment of public officers at district levels. And I want to thank those, Right Honorable Prime Minister. The detailed report was already submitted and discussed at length and in detail by the audience. So I want to thank you, those that participated actively and passively. Everybody was there. I want to thank you very much. Right Honorable Prime Minister, according to the study, over 35% of public job holders paid for the jobs they are holding. And many, that's the report that we have just received from the study. that we undertook. And it is also likely that some of them may not even have been the best candidates for the job, or not even qualified for the job. No wonder that district engineers, education officers, agriculture officers, veterinary officers, health officers, accountants, etc., if they are not qualified for the jobs they are holding, and if they bought the jobs, are we surprised that buildings are collapsing, that new buildings, you check them and there are cracks in the schools, that the jobs are of poor quality, that schools are catching fire, and that yields of agriculture are low? Are we surprised? That's what we mean in real terms, that the quality of service, public service by the government is largely affected by the quality of service providers, among other things. I have heard for a long time, we have heard here for a long time, that remuneration of district service commissioners is one of the reasons for that state of affairs. But I also think that one of the biggest drivers is the mindset that was created, the mindset that is created, that service commissions are full-time jobs to earn salaries, but a district which has filled positions in 1 year may not need to fill the positions for another 2 years or so. So what happens to those people who depend on the job of a district service commissioner as a job? So one of the remedies, Honorable Prime Minister, I think, is to redesign this position not to be seen as a salaried job, but a job that earns a sitting allowance. Given, I accept that the sitting allowance should be commensurate with the amount of work and the qualifications of the persons that are doing that job. The chairman of LC5 has responsibility and power to appoint the chairman of the District Service Commission and the commissioners. So, from the research and from what we know, is that they take it as an opportunity to pay back for services, or their supporters. It's an opportunity to pay back. So the mindset is created that he has chosen you to pay yourself back, to also get. That is the mindset that is created. So I want to ask, what stops, because the chairman of the district is empowered to choose anybody, what stops the district chairman to appoint, say, the leading businessman who will not need the 20,000? It is his prerogative, knowing the problems, the financial problems in the district. What stops him from appointing the owner of a leading school in the district, or the owner of a business in the district? But we create a mindset that this is for job needers, people who need jobs, or people who need a salary. And the same thing also, Right Honorable Prime Minister, although I don't want to go there yet, is largely on the boards that are appointed to supervise government departments. If a minister appoints somebody on a job, he has sorted you. He has given you a job. So the mindset is more about the earning, the opportunity to earn, than the service. They are called service commissions. So I think one of the remedies is to redesign these positions, some positions, and make them more like service commissions who would earn a sitting allowance for the job that they do, more than people who are looking for jobs. So I really need us to work on the mindset. Right Honourable Prime Minister, we've had speeches from especially from many people, but I want to recognize the official speeches from the Minister of Local Government and the Minister of Public Service, which were, in my opinion, which were very good. And in part, they agreed that although there may be problems, but it is a good start that now we have an authentic and a scientific study to start the job of dealing with this monster. Right Honourable Prime Minister, this research actually started when the President visited Kakumiro, Kagadi district. Right Honourable Prime Minister, you were there. And people in Kagadi, is it Kagadi or Kakumiro? Kakumiro. They raised it with the President in the presence of Right Honourable Prime Minister. And they said, sir, our children are going to school, but it is not those who go to school that get jobs. It is not those who know people or those who can pay. And His Excellency the President instructed the Prime Minister to ensure that these allegations are investigated. And that's where we started. Madam Prime Minister, you're witness to where it started. The public outcry then ensued, and arising out of the public outcry, we said we need scientific evidence. We cannot just talk about scientific outcry. And so we commissioned we commissioned the research organization to do this job for that. And I want to thank them very much for the work that they have done.
And thereafter invite you, Right Honourable Prime Minister, to speak to us.
I greeted you in the morning. I said good morning. Now I can say good afternoon. Good afternoon, everybody. Excellency the President, to address this congregation and later to launch the report from which a way forward will be extrapolated.
We've had a dissemination of the findings of the research, and this was done by the colleagues from the APRC, and they're going to give us a recap, a short recap, so that you get to know what the report is about. And thereafter, I'll invite the IGG to welcome you officially, and thereafter she'll welcome you to give your remarks and also launch the report officially. And we also have our colleagues from the media in a few minutes. Among other invited guests, and we also have our development partners from GIZ, led by Mr. Aina Fo. We have colleagues from the Inspectorate of Government,